Hello everybody, welcome back to MC Panda to another episode of Among the Blocks Development Diaries. It is episode 9 and today we finished building the cafeteria and we built our engine room. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, let's get right into it. So here we are in the world where last episode we built this cafeteria. Well, we half built this cafeteria. We built all the exterior walls and the meeting table and the emergency meeting room. And today we're going to be building all the tasks, all the details in here. Then we're also hopefully going to move on to engine. As you can see, since last time I have finished the emergency meeting function. So if we go to the button here, it takes you to this room, and you saw this what I built last episode. I have changed it quite a bit, so I've changed the positioning of the chairs. I've got rid of this little jutting out bit that was there. And I've generally made things a lot better. So we now have a back button that teleports you back to the game. And also, we have the ejection chairs, which if we go to any of these chairs, we pull this lever, and it comes back. Pull this lever, and it comes back. All of these chairs it works for. As you can see, the way this works, I've replicated the same circuit over and over again. And it took a while, but we've got it. And here's the back button there. I also covered it up in black concrete from this side, so that if we set it to night time, which is when we'll be playing the game, the engine won't have any windows anyway. And then from the balcony over here, you can't really tell there's anything there. I mean, the lack of stars is a bit of a giveaway, but there's not much we can really do about that. Unless we put torches on there, which I reckon it would look less realistic with torches. I mean, that could work, actually. Having said that, let me know what you think of that. I'm not sure whether I like it or not, but let me know if you think that that's a good detail to add or not. Also, if you ever have any suggestions for video ideas or ideas that we could put in this map, then just leave them in the comments. I do really appreciate your feedback. But yeah, let's get right into some building, shall we? So I'll pull up my task list for the cafeteria, and then we'll get straight into it. We already built all of these walls last episode. I'll set it today just because it's easier to see in the recording. And then if I find my task list. So the first task we have in cafeteria, there are only 2 of them, because I do want the main thing to be this meeting table. There's going to be empty the bins. So empty the bins. This is a task where you saw we have empty garbage in storage. What you're actually going to do is the garbage you're going to put in there are 2 white shulker boxes to act as bin bags. One of them is going to be from cafeteria, and one of them is going to be from bunk rooms. So we basically just need a bin in here that you can pick up the shulker box from. So there's the bin design that we're going for. And then I haven't actually worked out how you're going to get the shulker box, but I imagine it's going to be something as simple as... In fact, we could use a composter for this. That'd be cool. Use a composter, and then we fill it up with a bunch of compost. It'll look like the bin is full. There we go. So then the way you'll get the shulker box, I imagine we should just put a dropper in the wall. Like this. And then we'll just fill this up with some shulker boxes. So there's the first task. The second task is going to be serve cake, which you saw from this episode here with the kitchen. You get the ingredients from storage in here. You take them over to the kitchen, you bake the cake, and then we need a place in here for you to serve it. So where we're going to put this is we're simply going to have a little table here which we can put some food on. And this is going to be where you serve the cake. So we need a couple of other food items on here. We'll put some pumpkin pie and maybe a baked potato there. And then we just need some item frames. And then there'll be a sign saying serve cake with an arrow pointing down. To do the arrow, what we're going to do is we're going to use this symbol here, go down, and then we're going to use a capital V as the bottom of the arrow. Then, just as some indication, we're going to add subtle block of white concrete there. White concrete actually looks grey compared to quartz. If you haven't noticed it, it's a bit of an optical illusion, where these two they don't look like they're the same colour when in reality they are. It's just compared to the quartz, it looks very grey. That's just something I've noticed. Those are the two tasks in here. I do want to add a bit of other decoration, like for example a notice board. I reckon for this just regular item frames will work. Item frames with nothing in them actually create a good notice board look. Then I'm also going to add a couple of other kind of tables in here. We won't use the slabs, but we'll have just a couple of seats here and there with a table. We'll put one in each corner, I reckon, and then this just gives it more of a busy feel, which is what we want to see. So on these we'll put a cake, which is the only placeable food item to my knowledge. And then we'll also have on these, we'll have just a plate and a cup. So there we go, that is the cafeteria completely finished. It didn't take as long as I expected, so now let's move on to engine. So first things first, I'm going to build this corridor. You know the drill by now with the corridors. I'm just going to cut ahead in the video while I build this one. I am actually going to add a window to this one, because it has an edge where you can look out. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be the same as all the others. So as you can see, the corridor is now finished. It's a little bit awkward because unlike the others, which are 3 blocks wide, this one's only 2 blocks wide. But we have this one that goes from storage. All of the corridors from storage are now finished. And this one is hidden behind a crate almost, so people can play a bit tactically with this one. And then we have the window looking out into space, and then this one from cafeteria just comes out to engine. So as you can see, I've gone with a similar style to the rest of the ship, just with the grey concrete and the netherite. However, the engine in here is actually going to be the main thing that people will look at. And I want that to have its own unique design. I'm thinking about even adding like some pipes on the walls, some things which you're not really meant to see just because this isn't a place where a lot of people will go. Not in terms of the game, but in terms of the people who are supposedly on this ship. So I'm actually going to make the floor out of lava. Well, it's going to be out of glass, and then underneath this glass will be lava. I think it will provide a really cool effect. And then the rest of the floor we're going to use lodestones. Again, something I have to emphasize is that this is definitely a creative build. Don't attempt to build anything like this in survival. Don't even try mining all of this netherite. It will be a complete waste of time. If you do want to build something like this in survival, instead of the netherite blocks, you could just use grey concrete. You could also use blackstone. Instead of the lodestones, if you have enough iron, you could use iron blocks, but otherwise just use light grey concrete. So as you can see, the floor is done, and I think it looks really quite cool. And for this engine, we're going to use... We're actually going to, because the engine is something which is going to be off limits pretty much, I'm going to make this border out of anvils, which actually make a really cool fence in kind of old-fashioned or gothic builds, but in this case it works as a nice barrier. And then the engine we can put here. So for the engine, we're going to use polished blackstone. And then I'll just add some stairs to the side of this. And then we're also just going to use some basalt to essentially create this little effect of ashes, almost. It's a bit awkward to place it like this because of the lava underneath, but it should be fine. And then back here we'll also change these lodestones to this kind of ashy basalt texture. Back we'll also convert this to polished blackstone. And then we're going to use a kind of fire as the... We're going to use a fire for this. Now, I'm actually not going to just put campfires in here. I'm going to hide them underneath the floor. And then we also are going to create some pipes out of acacia trapdoors. This is the same pipe design I used in the storage room. And it doesn't matter if they're facing different directions, really. Just because it still creates a nice pipe effect, as long as the parts you can see are facing the same way. So now, I'll pull up my task list for the tasks that's going to be in engine, and there's only going to be one, which is to fuel it. So we're actually going to make this pipe be almost a fuel pipe. So I don't see there being any real solutions to that problem. So instead, what we'll just do is flap that one down. And then have this as where you put the potions. So for this we just need a light grey shulker box. And this is where it'll put the fuel that you get from storage. And that is engine completely finished. And we've been going for 30 minutes, and that's everything I had planned for this episode. In our next episode, we'll be working on reactor and cockpit. They're 2 rooms with 2 different sabotages, because instead of doing a comm sabotage, I'm doing a task sabotage, where you divert the ship. You basically divert the ship's course as the imposter, and then the crewmates, they have time for the amount of time they take to fix it, the more tasks will get removed. And they'll have to do again, which is a unique sabotage there. Thank you all for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to see more content like this. Leave a comment if you have any ideas for what I could do with this map, or just general video ideas that you think would be cool for me to do. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.